I have been getting asked a lot about some of my favorite webinar tips and tricks for my small, scrappy marketing teams. And so I wanted to just put together a really quick video, super easy, to give a little bit of advice on how I like to run webinars and what I always tell people. So the very first thing is to keep it really easy. Keep it really simple. Webinars are kind of this behemoth that we've created in our minds that we think need to be really complicated. We think we need tons of money and tons of resources and a huge team to do a webinar successfully, and that's just not true. So I'm going to give you some of the ways that I, having always been part of a small marketing team, have found results, incredible results using webinars. So first things first is to keep it simple. Just choose one goal. You are going to want to choose a million goals. You're going to want to track and measure every single thing related to your webinar. You just don't need to do that. Just pick one. Start with one goal. And along those same lines of keeping it simple, when I like to think about how I'm going to create my webinar content or what I should be looking to in order to get inspiration for content, I always start with sales objections. So talk to your sales team, figure out what are the churn reasons, where are the sticking points in the sales process. That will give you some insight into this should be something that your company is addressing. And so use that as your inspiration for your content and build your webinar around that. So that's number one, keep it simple. Number two, leverage what you do have. You don't have a ton of money, you don't have a ton of people. Fine, great, moving on. You do have potentially some guest speakers that you're inviting. Use them to help you promote. So create some really easy shareable graphics. I'm thinking like Canva, don't make it complicated. Build some copy for them so that all they have to do is copy paste and they can share it on their personal networks. They can share it on their professional networks. And you've just like multiplied your promotion team, your distribution team. So use them to your benefit. Also, in thinking about the actual format of your webinar, if you're someone who gets super nervous on camera or just aren't wanting to do a live webinar for any reason, know that you have options there. Do a hybrid webinar where you pre-record the actual presentation part and then you jump on live to manage chat and questions and answers. It's such an effective way to have a little bit more confidence in your webinar presentation and make you feel potentially a little bit more prepared, but still have a really engaging, interactive time with your attendees. Okay, so that's two, leverage what you got. Number three is make sure you are using the live webinar event following the live webinar. So you got to repurpose that content, team. You spent time building out that webinar content. Make sure you're turning it into blogs. Make sure you're turning it into infographics. Make sure that you're continuing to use that content following the webinar. And to that same point, make sure that you're actually, putting that webinar on demand on your website's resource page so that you can continue to drive leads even following the live event. Okay, so those are my main things. Keep it simple, leverage what you got, and make sure that you're finding value for that webinar and that webinar content after the live event is over. So those are my tips and tricks. Do with them what you will, but use them because they're really good. Okay, bye.